Good morning, folks. I hope you had a pleasant evening. I woke up to some rather shocking news, investigative journalism by Daily Maverick, which from time to time really does hit the nail on the head. A few weeks ago, former Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen appeared on News 24 with Adrian Dutoy, and he torched his political party, the Democratic Alliance, and his mentor, Tony Leon, the sort of founder of the modern Democratic Alliance post-apartheid, who built the party before Helen Zille took it to heights not since reached. Steenhuisen claimed that Resolve Communications had done something illegal. He didn't say that, but that's what he implied, by lobbying government officials in the Democratic Alliance. Now, why such a bum-hurt, juvenile crybaby would do such a thing to the political party that he claimed he loved and was his home is beyond comprehension. Of course, this is what immature juvenile children do. They throw their toys out of the pram, and he has torched the Democratic Alliance, creating a fake controversy over something that is not illegal, unethical, or immoral. It's not a criminal act to lobby government. It's how things get done. People create lobbying groups to affect policy change in government. That's just how things get done around the world. It's not illegal. There are illegal activities, but Steenhuisen didn't allude to any of those. He didn't claim any illegal activities. He didn't make any such allegations. But what he did is he opened the door for the pervasively corrupt ANC to complain about the Democratic Alliance and the corrupt legacy media in South Africa to pretend that Resolve Communications and Tony Leon had done something inappropriate when they had not. The irony here, of course, is that a former DA member has let the cat out of the bag about John Steenhuisen himself hiring Rita Levinson, an American lobbyist, to promote the Democratic Alliance and its interest in the United States. Kettle, this is pot. You are black. Absolutely ridiculous. What this man has done is beyond comprehension. Why the Democratic Alliance has not yet disciplined him, let alone kicked him out of the party, is beyond comprehension. Does he have something on somebody in the DA? Or are they terrified if they get rid of him, they will admit just how poorly the party has been run since he became the leader of the Democratic Alliance? It's shocking. You couldn't possibly bring more ill repute upon the Democratic Alliance than what John Steenhuisen has done. And what he has done is he's opened a window for the press in the few months we have left before municipal elections to trash the Democratic Alliance or to dig deep for dirt. Well, Becca Davis has great sources, and she's dug deep. The DA paid a Dubai-based consultancy firm more than $7.7 million to run its GNU operation. That is a blistering title. So a DA consultancy firm based in Dubai was running the DA's government? Not quite, but it's an explosive title. And that's what I woke up to this morning, July 24th, 2026. Ryan Coetzee apparently helped negotiate the Democratic Alliance into the GNU. Okay, nothing wrong with that, while serving as the CEO of an international political and corporate advisory company. But 3 months later, the DA hired that same company under a confidential contract to manage its transition to government, alleges Rebecca Davis. Interesting. So what's going on here? The confidential contract apparently between Consultum and the DA ran from September 2024 until February 2025 and was worth over just 470,000 US dollars, or about 7.8 million rand for 6 months work. Not bad work if you can get it. Subsequently, it was extended for a month, and it required Consultum to develop strategies for DA ministers and deputy ministers, manage communications, train political staff, and chair meetings of the DA's GNU caucus, in addition to a range of other responsibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem this creates is even if nothing inappropriate, immoral, or illegal has happened here, it leads us to see that the DA isn't even a real political party. They can't manage their own meetings. They have to hire a consultancy firm to run their meetings. They have to hire a consultancy firm to train their ministers, to teach them what their job is, and their deputy ministers to manage their communications. Now, look, if you're running their email server, I get it. You hire a contractor for that. But were they actually doing their public relations? Wow. In 2018, The Guardian, based in UK, reported that Consultum was largely staffed by former employees of Bell Pottinger. You remember them, white monopoly capital. Coetzee, who was the CEO of Consultum, it's been described by PR Week back in 2015 as the Bell Pottinger spinoff because it's founded by former Bell Pottinger International Chairman Tim Ryan and former Director of Bell Pottinger Middle East, Gunther Bushel. Wow, Bell Pottinger just isn't going away. So why is the DA paying a Dubai-based consultancy to train its ministers? It's obviously doing a piss poor job. Look at the performance of Dean McPherson taking his lover to Brazil on the government dime, purportedly. John Steenhuisen, a man who wouldn't know what a farm was like if someone planted him in a pigsty. who neglected foot and mouth disease despite knowing that it was a major crisis the day he became the minister, too busy running around, palling up, sitting in the Oval Office, denying what was actually happening in South Africa, and gaslighting South African voters by saying the reason we joined the GNU was so the MK and EFF wouldn't join it. Well, that was never going to happen. Anybody who can walk and chew gum and understands what's happening in South Africa knows that that was never going to happen. The Doomsday Coalition was never going to happen. So he was disingenuous at best and lied to President Trump at worst, along with Cyril Ramaphosa. But he's busy running off to Vietnam, doing his little dance, selling a couple dozen stone fruit to the Vietnamese instead of protecting his exports to the United States and focusing on negotiating with the United States. He and Parks Tao, the trade minister, wasn't getting done. So John Steenhuisen has opened a window of scrutiny into the Democratic Alliance, yet the party has failed to discipline him again. Ryan Coetzee, what's he got to do with this? Well, he was the Democratic Alliance's chief strategist between 1999 and 2009, and a one-term member of parliament between 2004 and 2009. Kind of a payoff for what he was doing. Coetzee resigned from that position after he lost an election for DA parliamentary leader to Athol Trollip, who's now with Action SA. He was kind of considered, according to Rebecca Davis, as a wunderkind by former DA leaders Tony Leon and Helen Zille. And he's credited with helping grow the DA from 9.56% of the vote in 1999 to 16.66% in 2009. Why is a vendor determining how the DA is run? You have to question if this is a real political party, if it's serious. A secret 7.7 million contract. There's nothing illegal here. There's nothing untoward. There's nothing immoral. But now everything the DA does is being scrutinized. Every penny they spend, every penny they don't spend, every place they go, every contact they have, the media are looking for blood. And why are they looking for blood? Because John Steenhuisen cut the wound open. Why has the Democratic Alliance not disciplined John Steenhuisen? And for that matter, why is he in that party? Jettison the dead weight. Anchor around the Democratic Alliance's hopes for the municipal elections on November 4th, 2026. Why is he still there? Why is the Democratic Alliance not focused on removing a cancer that has destroyed many chances for the DA to take over municipalities this November? It's shocking. And now, News 24, Daily Maverick, running stories. Here's a graphic. DA to lobbyist pipeline. Well, this isn't exactly shocker. Talk about Tony Leon, DA, ambassador for the ANC, and then he worked in communications as a lobbyist. Nicklin, DA, Western Cape government, went to Resolve Communications, back to Western Cape government, and then in the government guild. Gavin Davis, Paul Bogan, Cabello Kobisa Nkaba, Tim Harris, Ryan Coetzee, Trace Venter. Wow, this is not the rock that the DA wanted turned over. An explosive report from Rebecca Davis this morning, reporting on actual investigative journalism here in South Africa. Gotta love this story, but if you're a DA voter or a member of that political party leadership, you've got to be pulling your hair out. And you can thank none other than John Steenhuisen for drawing attention to your party instead of focusing on the potholes in Joburg, like Helen Zille is doing. What say you, South Africa? South Africa, Mzansi? From Swellendam in the Western Cape, the third oldest city in South Africa. Cheers.